uniform changes in sports are about as inevitable as death and taxes. As of the time of this recording, we're about a decade plus into Nike's contract with the NFL. I think now's a good time to ask the age-old question, who made better jerseys? Reebok or Nike? You guys all know the drill. Cue the bumper.
Hey, who's got it better than us?
Alright guys, here we go. On the left hand side, we've got the Reebok Authentic jersey, and on the right hand side, we've got the Nike Elite jersey. Both these jerseys are going to be the closest to what the players wear on the field. In this video, we're going to be comparing the best of Reebok to the best of Nike and see which one comes out on top. I say best because both jerseys are from the first year their respective companies had the NFL contract. And typically when a new company takes over the outfitting rights, their early products will be much better in quality compared to the later releases. The Reebok jersey is from the 2001 season, and the Nike jersey is from the 2012 season. Now let's do a deep dive on both, starting with Reebok. Overall, a Reebok jersey is going to fit more like a traditional jersey. It's got a baggier fit, the sleeves are going to run a little bit longer, and overall it's just going to give you that throwback look. The collar is going to be pretty standard, nothing too fancy here. NFL shield at the base of the collar is going to be embroidered. For later years, they did switch over to this equipment NFL shield, but in 2001, we've got the old school logo. The 2001 jerseys were also unique in that it had this kind of tagging, and while the jersey is assembled in El Salvador, it's actually made with US materials. For this Cowboys jersey, we've got the TV numbers up on the shoulders. Some teams, like the Chicago Bears, had their numbers on the sleeves, and other teams just omitted TV numbers altogether. The sleeve graphics are going to vary widely by team. Some people are of the belief that unless the graphics are sewn on, then it's a fake. Guys, I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos, but that is 100% not true. In fact, it's pretty common for team issue and game worn jerseys to have screen printed or heat pressed graphics. For the Dallas Cowboys, there have been some years where their navy jerseys have a sewn on star, but a lot of times it's pretty common to just screen print the whole thing, both the stars and the sleeve graphic. Also, oddly enough, I think mine might be a misprint because it's missing the Reebok vectors, but this is typically where you'd find it on a Reebok jersey, right above the logo or the sleeve number. For the Cowboys Navy jersey, it's going to have an embroidered Cowboys word logo right above the numbers. And the numbers on this jersey is going to be kiss cut. So instead of having a white, navy, and white layer all stacked on top of each other, the navy is actually just a trim that's sewn over the white. And here's a closer look at what that looks like. Every team does it a little bit different. For this Philadelphia Eagles jersey, you can see that they use stacked twill. So they've got the black layer as the base, and they layer it with a white layer on top. Both the side panel and the underarm area is going to be made of a spandex fabric. For the early jerseys especially, this material is very high quality and is very thick, and it's got a nice stretch to it. The mesh body is also very high quality. This has a lot more stretch to it, and it's pretty resistant to tearing, especially compared to a replica jersey. And this is my favorite part about the 2001 jerseys, the helmet tag. For the remainder of Reebok's contract, we've got a jock tag that looks a lot closer to this one. But in 2001, all teams that wore Reebok had a specific team helmet jock tag. I'm not gonna lie guys, once Nike came out, I got rid of a lot of these and I really regret it because these are really hard to find now. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that the upper shoulder region of the jersey is typically double layered. This is how jerseys were back in the day. The mesh area obviously was just one layer, but a lot of times for the shoulder area, it's two layers of fabric. Back then, jerseys weren't replaced by teams as frequently as they are now, and they really needed these to last. Here we've got Emmitt Smith's name sewn onto a nameplate, and the nameplate material is going to be the same material as the non-mesh parts of the body. Here's a look at the sleeves and the upper body from the back, and here's the rest of the back of the jersey. And one more time for the audience, this is what the front of the jersey looks like. The Reebok jersey is definitely going to have an old school feel to it. It's a baggy fit, even if you buy a smaller size, Overall though, it still looks great. Although with how baggy these jerseys fit, I would definitely not go above your t-shirt size and maybe even size down if you'd like. Quick announcement guys, we're working hard to create quality content for all the major sports leagues and really aspire to be the de facto resource for all things related to sports jerseys. Consider supporting our channel by running the triple option, subscribing, liking, and commenting on today's video. And if you guys want to see some other cool videos, definitely check out one of these.
All right, back to the show.
And next up, we've got the Nike Elite 51 NFL jersey. This jersey was worn by most teams from 2012 to 2016, although some teams continue to wear it as late as 2022. For the Cowboys Navy jerseys, they actually stuck with this old school traditional knit collar, but more often than not, that was not the case. In fact, most teams, including the Cowboys' other jerseys, had this wacky flywire collar that was supposed to resist stretching. And when most of the league updated to the Vapor Untouchable and later the Vapor Fuse chassis, they redesigned the collar all over again. But that's a topic for another video. At the base of the collar, we've got this rubberized NFL shield. Later jerseys will update this to be more metallic and textured, but for the time being, this is what we've got. Inside the collar, we've got the size tag, and this one's a size 40/medium. Because of the newer technology material, they actually did away with the double layer shoulders, and this material is going to be single layered as it is with the rest of the body. Since this jersey is more tight fitting compared to the Reebok jersey, the TV numbers are going to feel a little bit scrunched in. The Nike swoosh is going to be embroidered. However, for the Lone Star logo and the sleeve stripes, this will all be screen printed. And just a quick note guys, for the early Nike jerseys, the sleeves will fit boxier and they will fit kind of long. Compare that to the later jerseys, which will be shorter and have an elastic sleeve cuff. This is going to fit a lot more like a player's jersey, while these still fit very much like a fan jersey. And just like the Reebok jersey, the Cowboys Navy jersey will also have kiss cut numbers. One thing that's really cool about the new technology is that Nike's incorporated different fabrics. The non-mesh areas are made of a Cordura fabric that actually repels water. And here's what that looks like. And if you wipe it over to the mesh material, it will actually absorb all the water. The jock tag is going to be pretty simple. Just got the NFL logo, NFL players logo, the size, and the Nike swoosh. 91% nylon, 9% spandex, and made in Honduras of USA fabric. The nameplate on the back is going to be made of the same mesh material that you see for the other mesh panels of the jersey. Here's a quick look at the sleeves and shoulders from the back. And here's a quick look at the bottom panels. And one more time for the audience, here's a look at the jersey from the front. The Nike jerseys are going to have a much more modern fit in that it's more contoured to the body and it's a lot slimmer. Some people will go one size above their shirt size if they want to layer it, but personally for me, I just go with my own shirt size, and whether or not I'm layering it, I'll still wear that same size. And there we go guys, it's a quick look at the Reebok Authentic jersey versus the Nike Elite jersey. I would love to hear your thoughts. For me, there's things to be liked about both. Reebok is going to give you that old school look. The fabric is going to be more mesh heavy, and it's going to fit like how a throwback jersey should fit. Nike, on the other hand, is going to have the newer technology. You've got the water repellent fabric, water absorbent mesh panels, and a more sleek fit for a modern look. If you like that old school baggy look, go with the Reebok. If you like the modern technology and the slim fit, go with Nike. At the end of the day, it's all about what you value most. But that'll do it for this video, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and turn on notifications for all the latest updates. Alright, we'll see you in the next one.